Hi, I'm David Carrasco from Vermila Studios in Madrid, Spain.
Who is it behind you?
Right there, here's Jack. Jack is one of my cats. So this is Rota. Rota, say hi. This is a big boy, and he likes to eat a lot. They are very happy because if we are home, they can ask for more food. So when Corona first came to Spain, we had one of the hardest waves in whole Europe, and during mid-March they confined the whole population, and that confinement came with a lot of people having physical, mental issues. Hospitals were full. Lots of people, of course, were having coronavirus symptoms, and they were having to go to the ICU, and they were completely full, and those were really hard times. Some people that I know, even myself, we lost dear ones in that first wave. My father got infected with COVID in late March, and he was 76 by then, and he had some health issues. Let's say nothing too worrisome. He was very stable. He was fine, but he got infected and in less than a week he passed away. We actually went to the hospital and were able, wearing all kinds of protective equipment, we were able to see him for a very short while, and he was already very sick at that point. He wasn't feeling well at all. That was, I believe, a Wednesday, and we could see him for just a glimpse, and in that blink of an eye, in Saturday morning, he was already deceased. He was already dead. So we couldn't see him after he passed away, and it was a very sad moment, because it was in the very early stages of the pandemic. So for a while we didn't know if we were going to be able to bury him or not, or if we were able to go to a wake or not. It was completely abnormal, almost like from a movie or a science fiction, dark science fiction episode. For a little while, it was a shock, and it was hard to concentrate and to do anything. But in the other hand, working mostly from home was a way to cope with the situation, and to kind of get your mind thinking about something different, and not thinking about your family, or how is your mom feeling at that moment, or think about my dad in general in that case. So it was complicated. It sometimes still is, in some moments. Of course, time cures everything, and time eases the pain a little bit, but it's not the easiest. So for a while, studio, we were collaborating, and before all of the pandemic, and before being acquired by amplifier. Well, we were collaborating and mostly working from home, so that didn't affect the day to day too much. But then once we started working in an office, what we did is establish some protocols. Everybody in the office has to wear a mask. Everybody has access to gel. Everybody, when they come to the office, are tested for temperature. If you feel slightly sick at all, then stay home. It's working. We believe pretty well. We've only had one positive during the pandemic, and fortunately, nothing serious in the office. Internally, it's slowed us down a little bit. We try to keep up the speed, but in some points, because people is either has a family member that may be sick, or that is not feeling well, or there's some more absences than usual, and that affects our speed a little bit. And also, believe it or not, it has affected our providers. Usually, it takes a week to get a new computer, a new license. Now we've had more than a month of delay in some computers, and more than a month of delay in some licenses. So that did affect us a lot, and we're still trying to regain the speed that we lost from just waiting. In a sense, it's very interesting what how this whole situation has affected us. We're a small studio. We're an indie studio of 17 people, and being able to cope with the pandemic has made us kind of take steps that may not be the most common for a studio of this size. We've added collaboration tools like Microsoft Teams that help us share files, collaborate in real time, have impromptu meetings, things like that. And we've also added VPN servers that help us connect to our computers and work from them, because they are much more powerful computers usually than the ones we have at home. They have very powerful graphics card, lots of memory. So those things that you may not think about when you are small studio, you are 3, 5, 10 people, and you are used to maybe working from home at times, or doing this and that in the office. Suddenly you are forced, you are obligated to stay home, you are obligated to not meet with anybody except with your close family or your roommates, and you have to be able to make the studio processes as similar to the ones you had when you were working at the office. So that is definitely one evolution that we may not have in a studio this size if we hadn't been hit with this pandemic. I've worked for large studios, and in these cases okay, what do you need? You need a laptop, powerful laptop. There you go. You need a new license for this or that. Okay, and it's a very straightforward, almost seamless process. They have already accounted for an X amount of work from home. They of course needed to adapt as well. They may need to add more licenses or more servers for this or that, or a better VPN system, whatever. But they were already, those processes were already in place. In our case, we are even already adapting at this moment. We're still trying to be the most productive we can in the situation we are facing. We do not have these super powerful communication lines that other studios have. So we need to find ways to make the day-to-day work happen, even in the case we had to be at home, even if that were the case at some point. Definitely, Amplifier has been really helpful here. They've all been very supportive in many ways. When we've had delays or we had to cope with the situation, it's always been easy. They've all been very understanding, and they are aware of the situation. They want to help us, and we feel that. We definitely feel that Amplifier and Embracer is trying to help us in every step of the way. And I'm not saying this just out of like, oh yeah, we have to say good things about Amplifier. No, I feel very, very fortunate to have the support. Hasta luego. Muchas gracias por todo.